Many journalists, they've passed through the humbled halls of 1024 North Rampart Street, working with Eric, including our next guest.
Someone you might recognize. We got Norman Robinson. We know worked here at WLTV for several years, part of more than a 30-year career in journalism.
Oh, more than several years, I will tell you.
Into the 70s and 80s, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. Eric and I started around the same time in 1977.
Tell us about that.
And just looking at Eric, it's hard to believe he was ever that young. You know, he was ever that young, and I was ever that young, because we were in our early 20s when we started.
Playing games in the newsroom.
Absolutely, playing games in the newsroom, playing games on our news director, who was Phil Johnson at the time. You know, it was Phil Johnson who built this incredible news team that went on to dominate this market. And in fact, had the highest news ratings of any television station in the country. And Eric, when he ascended to the morning news, brought the ratings up to the level that it was the highest television morning show in the history of local television.
He still talked about that.
Yeah, we definitely know.
I'm sure.
You're not telling us anything
well,
new.
He used to talk about you all to me. We had a name for you youngsters. We called you TV tots. You know, Eric had a word for everything.
Right.
You know, and he and I broke in about the same time. We're in 1977 down in St. Bernard Parish. We were covering this trial at the time of the late Congressman Rick Tonry, who was a lawyer who was running for Congress, 2nd Congressional District, which is now held by Troy Carter, against Jimmy Morrow, who was a New Orleans city councilman at the time. Well, Tonry beat Morrow, and Morrow challenged the election, the outcome of the election, claiming it was fraud. So Eric and I had to sit through that debacle for about 3 months and got to know each other really well. We became good friends, we were cohorts, we were colleagues, and much later in our careers, look at me, I had hair then. I told you, it's hard to believe that I was ever that young. We became colleagues, we became cohorts, and then later in our careers, as I went to CBS, and then back here to New Orleans, the place that I call home. He and I both fell in love. We were both from...
Right, you're from Mississippi, right?
Yeah, but I was born in St. Louis.
Wow.
Which is his hometown. His hometown. So we had that.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
That's
we
awesome.
had that in common. We used to talk about being from St. Louis all the time. But he and I sort of moved together. We had that inarticulate speech of the heart. We would see each other, we would nod, and without words, we knew that there was a bond between the both of us. And he used to call me the old man because he was guarded about his age. You know.
Oh yeah.
We've
talked
he
about
never
that.
talked about it. He was like Jack Benny, the late comedian, who was popular in the 30s, 40s, and the 50s. Who was always 39 every birthday. That was Eric, and he would call me the old man. As it turns out, he was older than me. He's 74, and I'm 73. So
Look at that. Look at that, Eric.
I do want to ask you, you know, you have the privilege of having had the illustrious career that you had. I mean, if you walk around and the RTA opens up its doors and you're too late and broad, and it's like, oh, it's Uncle Norman, how you doing?
There you go.
But it's a reality, it's a career in many ways that many people don't get to have anymore, and you and Eric both got to do that.
Yeah.
So looking back on Eric's life and legacy, your legacy here in this city, what journalism means to you all, and how you all have worked to define it, what happens to our journalistic voice here in this city, considering that these are careers that people don't get a chance to have anymore, to have that perspective, to have that tenure? How do we move on?
I think we have to hearken back to what it is we are about, and that is the ethics of the First Amendment. We are the fourth estate. We are protected by the Constitution of the United States of America, which is an obligation that we have to live up to. And I think that back when we were starting, there was an understanding that we were going to be true to the First Amendment We were not going to be partial to corporate desires, because we had a general manager at the time, Mike Early, who would say, you know, damn the mosquitoes, full speed ahead. If it was the right thing to do, then we did it. And no matter where the line of demarcations were, if it was the right thing to do, then that's the direction we moved in. No matter who was on the other side, whether it was some business person or whether it was some person who was, you know, an elitist in the community. If they were on the wrong side, then we told their story.
As it was supposed to happen.
Yeah. Well, we thank you so much for being here and
Well,
sharing
thank
us
you
a
for
piece
getting
of-
me up this early in the morning.
Yeah. Come
We'll let you go.
anytime.
Yeah, you're welcome back anytime. This is your home too. So
All right.
thank you. It was nice hearing.
It's nice
about Eric
being
from
with the
you.
TV tots.
You know,
We'll
it's
take it.
Not for nothing.
I've heard him call some people worse. So.
Yeah, that's true. TV ties, it's like, you know, what gives? It's like, you know, knocking on 40 years old and I'm still a toddler.
I'm not, so I'll take
Well,
it.
I have a son who's older than you.
That's fine.
We're tots. Let
Right.
it be. We've got to take a quick break, but we'll be
Just,
right
it's
back.
like, you and Eric, get out of here.
We'll be back with a special edition of the WL Louisiana Morning News, remembering Eric Paulsen. I'm going to call him these two down.
There we go.
Presley.